come here and speak about what we are doing in Kerala Infrastructure Fund and Management Limited. I've been asked to give this talk in a interval of 10 minutes. So I will only focus on important aspects of this fund and what it is. If you take the history of alternate investment funds in India, we can broadly say the period belonged to prior to 2012 and the period after 2012. The period before 2012 relates to fairly unregulated infrastructure or investment funds, alternate funds. It was only in the year 2012 SEBI came up with stricter regulations to regulate these funds. Therefore, any fund which is launched after 2012 is an highly regulated fund. Now, what does this Kerala government do? Kerala government has been harping on this issue of attracting private equity to fund not only the government projects but also private projects. We have a huge size of diaspora spread across 138 countries. When the government representatives went to this diaspora, they have been telling, we want to invest in the state. But there are two sort of guarantees. One, we want a government to guarantee a minimum return. And second, there should be a managerial expertise in managing these funds. Back home in the state, we had a huge discussions and said, what is the way to attract the private equity? Obviously, we cannot ask them to invest in government projects because there are no schemes available where a private equity can come and directly invest in the government projects. That is where this idea of alternate investment fund came to our mind. And Government of Kerala, being very innovative in this aspect, has launched a company which is basically sponsored by KIBBI, saying that Kerala Infrastructure Fund Management Limited is an asset management company which will launch the alternate investment funds. This is a KIBBI sponsored company, and this company has done now so far launched two funds. The first fund is called Kerala Infrastructure Fund. We call it as a Growth Fund Scheme 1. The second fund is called Kerala Innovation Fund. Now, Kerala Infrastructure Fund, this is about the company. I think I covered it about it. This is about the company. Can I go next slide, please? Yeah. Thank you. So, this Kerala Infrastructure Fund is a 600 crore fund with 30% given by KIBBI, remaining 70% to be solicited from the private equity. Now, what is this fund meant for? This is a sector agnostic fund where we would like to invest in companies to the ticket size of 15 to 40 crores, roughly. Now, you can ask me a question, why this fund and to what exactly, where is the gap? You see, on one side, all the programs or the projects which are conceptualized by the government, they get fund from the planned funds, from budget. There's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is basically bankable projects with the proven commercial viability, where we have hordes of banks and institutions coming and giving the fund. In between these two ends is a huge gap where so many innovative ideas yet to be tested in the commercial market, but looks very promising. That is where the innovation spark, that is where the innovation actually lying dormant now. So this fund is basically targeting that area where there are excellent ideas beyond the seed stage, willing to now becoming, basically trying to scale up. That is where this fund comes in. The first fund, infrastructure fund, will invest in projects, basically sector agnostics, where it is not yet bankable in that sense. That is where I was hearing the previous session. The last question was saying, where do you get the funds from? So probably this is one answer. We have shortlisted 54 projects as of now. This company is run by an independent director board. There are 4 independent directors in the company who take decisions purely on merit. The investment committee is led by very distinguished people who have more than 3 to 4 decades of experience in credit evaluation and banking. They take a call. The process is stage 1, when the investment team comes to the investment committee, the committee gives an initial yes or no. After the initial yes is given, our people, our deal team, goes into the details of the company and brings a detailed proposal as a second stage approval. After the second stage is approved, then we go for due diligence, shareholders agreement, contribution agreement, etc., etc. Out of 54 projects we have shortlisted, 4 are in active consideration by the IC. We will be making very soon one investment, maybe in a month's time. That is the first investment, and that investment will actually catalyze and push forward many other investments. So, ladies and gentlemen, Kerala Investment Infrastructure Fund is a live fund. Those of you who have excellent ideas of innovations, who have crossed the seed stage, who are willing to scale up, can certainly petition us, give to us, come to us, and explain your proposals. We may be able to help you out. Infrastructure fund is what I spoke now. Now, the second is the innovation fund. I need not say much about innovation ecosystem because all of you are from that system. The innovation fund is a 250 crore fund, where again the government entities like Kerala Financial Corporation, Kerala State Industrial Development Corporation, and Kerala State Financial Enterprises, 3 people have become the sponsors. They are giving 30% fund for this. And I must acknowledge and appreciate here the state, Kerala State Startup Mission, which has already given an LOI into this fund for 10 crores. So we are up and running, innovation scheme. We also have more than 12 schemes in hand. Some of the sectors which we have chosen to fund are basically healthcare, very interesting ideas, very path-breaking innovation ideas have come to us. Here the size is typically from 5 to 15 crores is what we are trying to do. The innovation team, innovation fund also has a separate investment committee wherein people from ecosystem, venture capitalists, investment bankers, they are all members of IC. They take a call and we are very close to investing in 2 of the projects now in the health sector. One is, I should say this, one is about an innovative air bed to prevent bed sores. So people who are actually bedridden, who need to be sort of turned every 4 hours in the hospital and at home. It's a cumbersome process. This is an automatic system where, based on the sensors, the bed itself tilts the patient to 30 degrees, so we can prevent bed sores in chronically ill patients. There's another thing where we are going to have sort of high flow nasal cannulas for the children. Children stuck with pneumonia. Today, many hospitals don't have the nebulizers or the high flow nasal cannulas. This company has come up with a very innovative apparatus, wherein the cost of the apparatus is less than 50% of the imported cost. So we are encouraging those companies where the investment size is 5 crore to 15 crore. So innovation fund is 250 crore, infrastructure fund is 600 crore. Mind you, both these funds have a green shoe option of the equal amount, which means infrastructure fund is actually 1,200 crore, 600 plus 600. And innovation fund is 250 plus 250, 500 crores. Now, the gentlemen, this is where the 2030 plan, vision of Kerala. How do we bring in innovation? How do you spark? How do you support? Yes, this is a very innovative attempt by government of Kerala, and we are on our path steadily but slowly, because being an alternate investment fund, soliciting funds means it's a long process, being a maiden fund. Once we cross the first close, first fund, probably we can go faster. So those of you who are interested, seeking funds from this fund can always approach us. We are always open. Come with the brilliant ideas which are easily commercial and which are easily, it can be basically scaled up. So since the time is up and running, I just want to summarize that Kerala is one of the few states, in fact the only state to have an alternate investment fund of this kind. The idea is to harness the private equity into this fund and fund private projects with an expertise managerial team. The deal team in this company has a huge experience of having investing and returning 20-30% returns. We have selected people from across the country, not necessarily from Kerala. So the chief investment officer is not from Kerala. The board of directors, not many are from Kerala. It's a very it's a fund that is aligned to the market as much as possible from a government perspective. It's a professional body and it takes professional decisions. So one can be easily be convinced that this fund is going to be a hope, at least if not for many, at least for those of you here with excellent ideas. I thank the organizers for giving me this chance to share a very brief aspects about these two funds. I didn't speak much about how we actually got the fund up and running and all, but it's all there in the record, you can see. Thank you for your patient hearing, gentlemen. Thanks.